In this video, you'll be learning about this topic. So Adam, what are you guys doing from a Blockstream level? Is this all internal as far as just you're using your own retained earnings in order to invest in this? Is this something you're going to open up to the market that people can participate in it with you as well through equity or through debt somehow? What's your approach moving forward for this?
How we started was sort of about 50-50 internal investment, use of companies' cash reserves, and actually converted a bunch of US dollars into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin holdings increased through that. And the other was hosting for high net worth individuals and institutions. So there were Reid Hoffman as an individual and Fidelity as one of the hosting customers. And there have been more that have been announced over time. So a number of the recognized brand name institutions in this space who are doing mining, many of them don't have physical operations, so they will host equipment to us. Something else we've had, we're interested in decentralization, and us doing some sort of institutional and in-company mining is a form of macro decentralization, right? We're doing it in Canada or the US, or we're a new voice. So, if there are 50 institutional miners instead of 49, that's a small amount of decentralization, but it's not very end user decentralized. And so we have seen a lot of ongoing requests from individuals to say, hey, can I buy $10,000 worth of mining, or can I buy $100,000 worth of mining? And that was something that we were interested to do, but weren't set up to do at the beginning. So we set about trying to address that problem and meet that demand. So more recently, we have offered something called the Blockstream mining note, which tries to do that. Now, on a regulatory basis, it's only available to non-US investors, and there's a qualification criteria where the minimum investment has to exceed 125,000 euros. Again, this is for non-US investors. But it does bring the barrier down.
Adam, just for clarification, you said it's a note?
Yeah, so it's actually, I think it's the first of its kind, actually. We worked with a company called Stocker in Europe that is a kind of regulatory specialist, and they are the registration agent for this. It's a Luxembourg securitization vehicle. And so it has a foot in both worlds. So it's both a Luxembourg securitization vehicle with an ISIN, an investment serial number. And so, you could potentially give that to a broker that deals with, a longer tail of assets and say, how can you hold this as part of my portfolio? Can you margin lend against it? That kind of thing is all possible if you have a more bespoke brokerage. But it's also an asset in a cryptocurrency tokenization sense. So it's a liquid security token. So it's an STO.
I love it.
And
this is awesome. Okay.
So the security token means, it all implies some quite interesting things for people who are able to access it regularly. One is that you can potentially transfer it OTC. So after the issuance phase, there are some different limits that apply later. So it can be transferred down to 0.01, but only to qualifying users. And to be a qualifying user, the user has to register on Stocker, and they are the registration agent for these transfers. But there's no kind of conventional stock transfer agent fee, only kind of network fees, which are de minimis. And so you could gift somebody a BMN or part of a BMN. You could swap it OTC, and there are smartphone wallets that let you do that. So it's kind of private OTC scenario. And there are some exchanges which we are working with that may end up being in a position to list STOs going forwards. And so in that sense, they would be a kind of nominee ombudsman holder of these notes. So the notes, the registration agent would be in the name of that exchange. And then the exchange would reflect the qualification requirements onto the users. So it would be accessible to a subset of the users, i.e. not in the US and reaching some level.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next podcast episode and new investing resources.
What are your takeaways and thoughts on this discussion? Let us know in the comments section below.